Yeah, it's not working.
Hello.
Mine works.
Hello.
No, it works.
All right. Okay, there we go. There we go. There we go. All right, y'all. What's up, y'all? Boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, however you want to be called or preferred. Welcome to the Rarely Typical Players RTP podcast, where once again we come to you all with another RPG Maker game. And today this is a Wheel of Doom game, and we're going to be spinning the wheel until we exhaust most of the games that's on the list. But this is Single Malt Apocalypse. It is a post-apocalyptic RPG maker game that is based off whiskey. What kind of game is this? Single malt. I never tasted whiskey or any alcoholic beverage. Maybe my co-host, maybe he drunk malt liquor before. I don't know what it tastes, but I'm pretty sure it's strong.
Yeah, whiskey is somewhat a stronger type of alcohol.
So,
but I've not really drunk any whiskey. I think I had rum once, but whiskey, I don't think so.
They say
maybe like a mixed drink. I don't know. I don't remember.
Yeah. So, what's unique about this game is the style the game is created in, and also it is a commercial RPG game, meaning you can own this masterpiece for some money. If your money is right, the price is right, you can enjoy this masterpiece in the privacy of your own home, on your private computer, or on, if you are fortunate to have a lot of money, on your Steam Deck. I don't have a Steam Deck, nor do I have any plans on getting one anytime soon, because all I play is RPG Maker games, guys, on my PC. So what sense is that? We're not going to cut around the bush too much. We're just going to talk about our experience with the game, music, what we think about it. Is it a good game? Should you go out and buy it? And all that good stuff. And our suggestions. Do the developer need to change this, change that? How can he make the game more interesting? Or the game is already perfect Don't need any type of assistance whatsoever. They are doing an excellent job and don't need no RTP guidance. So let me go ahead and pull up the video. Go ahead and pull up the video that our lovely Germinator friend Harlequin has provided for stream. See that, right? Nice custom graphics that we have. Custom graphics. I'm going to go ahead and share my synopsis about what's going on with the game. Apparently, you are a detective coming from San Francisco to this town called Cinderbrook, because you are in charge of investigating some type of weird mutation that's going on with this distillery, where the liquor or the alcohol is turning pink and changing people into like monsters and mutating them to like big beasts and all, some crazy stuff. So there's nothing much to go on about this detective's background. Matter of fact, your name is Leonardo. You're Detective Leonardo. So there's really no background information about this detective, nor is there any, type of achievements they have accomplished for anybody to want to hire this guy out. Supposedly he's another Dick Tracy type guy or Sherlock Holmes type individual, where his cunningness and his sleuthness, help solve cases and mysteries. So not really much is known about this this character here. You meet other supporting cast. I really won't say they're as supporting. They're kind of individuals that live inside Cinderbrook. They are residents of Cinderbrook, which is the setting that we are going to, and they have issues going on in their lives. So like dealing with this green poison, this pink poison. So some people agreed to team up with you, and it's little dialogue here and there, not really much background about them as well. It's like 2-3 piece of dialogue and that's it. So you basically finding clues, solving stuff, fighting monsters, your typical exploration style RPG game. You're just really just finding stuff, doing a lot of backtracking, solving a couple puzzles, some riddles here and there, but story driven, not as much, like you get from your typical RPG game where, there's like a villain and there's like a climax to the story and a rising climax and, a thick plot and stuff like that, or suspense. This game really don't offer that, and in my time playing it, I haven't really gotten that motion of, oh my gosh, this is, oh wow, I never thought this was going to be. None of that jumped out at me. But I wasn't the only one that played it. My co-host played it as well, Before we get into the meats and potatoes, if he would like to give us a quick breakdown of what he, sort of gotten out his gameplay, that would be awesome. That way we could, build some type of report on what to talk about.
Yeah, there's really not much in there. It's also my first point of critique too. Like the story isn't really told, right? It's just there's no cool intro cinematic where you can see how everybody's kind of mutating or whatnot and the poison spreading or whatever. It's just you starting out in a tutorial zone and the entire story is like on a billboard with like one giant dialogue box that just tells you, all right, you're detective and these people are fucking mutating and now go and solve it, and that's pretty much the entirety of the story. That's literally it. Like you get you have no idea who you are. You don't know who these people that you meet are. You know nothing. It's just you're a detective. Go and do shit. And yeah, that's like my first point of critique. Is like there's no introduction to anything. Like nothing to really hook the player into even wanting to play this game.
Yeah. Yeah, this is the selling point of the game. This is what the developer, how they advertise their game. And hopefully, they wanted to attract people based off of this. Not everything is fine in the small mining town of Cinderbrook. The local distillery whiskey has turned into a glowing poison, and the townspeople have caught a glimpse of strange figures in the surroundings. Investigate the case and uncover the origin of these peculiar phenomenal designs and features. The style and feature resembles adventure games and role-playing games from the early 90s. The early 90s. Okay? That's a key word, too. Early 90s. The main focus of the game is solving a mystery, but players will also face enemies in turn-based battles. You control only one character and during the game, but you encounter helpful characters who join the investigation, aid, and uncover enemies. The game is quite short, but the player's playstyle and choices will affect how the story ends. So, keywords: 90s, mystery, role-playing game, RPG, and whiskey. Well, malt, whiskey, yeah, whiskey. So this developer is aiming at an older crowd than the younger crowd.
Must have been older than me then, I guess. I don't know.
I would give this developer to be in their 40s. To be in their 40s for them to make a game just like they did in the old days. They actually emphasize that the game is supposed to be hard like the retro 90s game, which some games were really hard, because most games back then required skills, and even though you get passwords, most games you die, you gotta start all over again, like from the beginning, like the good old NES games. But nowadays, games aren't as hard as they used to be. Now
I guess I'm not in the crowd then. Like the earliest console I got to play was the Super Nintendo.
You had hard games up there.
Yeah, we had hard games there, but the thing is, the difficulty in these old games were mostly to like pad out the playtime, right? Because you couldn't just buy 10 other games on Steam back in the day, right? You only had money for like one game, and that's what you got.
Yeah.
And you had to play that for a long, long time until maybe next year's Christmas, and you get another game, right? and that's why those games were difficult. So you couldn't you to pad out the playtime, right? So it lasts longer. And also probably because of space reasons, right? These cartridges, they didn't have a lot of space.
Exactly.
You couldn't make like 500 hours Skyrim levels of RPGs back in the day. That didn't work. So the game was hard. So you didn't need like more biomes, more enemies, more whatever. Is to save space and pad out the game time. Like, is it really necessary nowadays where these limitations don't exist to make a game like that? Does it need to be that arbitrary difficult? I don't know. I don't think so.
I mean, I prefer a challenge when I play games.
Oh, totally. I mean,
Instead,
I'm a big Souls fan too, right?
yeah.
I like challenge, but this game isn't challenging. This game is just fucking stupid.
And we're gonna
With its
get
difficulty.
and that's gonna be the topic of mainly this podcast. Is this game
Yeah.
worth buying? You know, is it
Yeah.
worth the $2.99 that the developer is asking for? So key points. What key points stood out to you that makes this game sort of attractive to you?
I mean, nothing. This game isn't attractive to me.
Not
We were
the-
playing it for the podcast.
Not the art
but
style.
nah, not at all. Like I don't like anything in this game. Nothing.
Wow.
But that doesn't matter, right? It's for judging as objectively as I can.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be my type of game for that.
Uh-huh.
So I'm trying to be as objective as I can, of course.
Okay.
So what I thought the game would be is like a detective game, right? I'm solving a case is what I thought it would be.
Uh-huh.
But that's not what it is. Like I'm not getting to investigate anyone, or there's no detective type gameplay here. It's just like maybe an old adventure game where you just run around clicking on anything on the screen in hopes of finding something. And that's what this game is. You just run around and click on everything, because the items you can pick up, they don't stand out, right? The only thing that stands out is the money bags because they blink. But the planks and the ropes and whatnot, nothing stands out. So you never know, is it something to pick up or is it not?
Yeah.
But that's the gameplay. That's all the gameplay you do. You run around trying to click on everything in hopes of finding something that helps you out. So you're not getting any directions where to go or what to do or who to talk to. It's just running around random places, talking to random people, picking up random items in hope that you're gonna need them at some point.
Yeah.
So that was like the first disappointment was the introduction, the tutorial screen. That was the first disappointment, and the second disappointment is the gameplay.
Why was
Because-
the tutorial screen disappointing?
Because it's the introduction of the game. Like, you're starting on a tutorial screen. The tutorial is terrible because it's just everything, right? Everything is in this room. You start the game, you have fuck no idea how the game even works, and they're going about telling you what every state does. Like, you're gonna forget about that as soon as you leave the tutorial room. Right? None of this shit sticks in your head. But they tell you anyway. They tell you every state and every other mechanic in the game before you even got to play the game. You don't know what any of this shit means at that point.
Bats.
Like, what is nauseous? Like, nauseous could be anything.
Bats.
Right? What are these stats with these weird names? They could mean anything. I don't know. I haven't played the game yet. Why are you telling me this? And then the story is also just a message box. Like, how is that interesting to anyone? Like, the entire story on a billboard. Like, what? Like, it needs something to hook me, right? Why am I interested in this? Like, I'm starting the tutorial and I'm already bored because it's just a text box telling me I'm a detective and that's it. How is that interesting? I don't know.
I agree with you. Like, speaking to some of the NPCs, it's like it's like they're questioning you instead of you questioning them.
Yeah,
Like,
there's no detective type gameplay in there. We're not
like,
questioning anybody or trying to solve anything. We're just running around.
like if you play LA Noire, for example, that's a detective game where your job is to interrogate, convict, and to find more clues just by interrogating the NPCs.
Yeah, that's not really what happens.
In this game,
Like, you talk to, I think the distiller is the first guy you talk
yeah.
to. I mean, the technically it's the shop right after the tutorial.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know why it's there, because at that point you don't even have any money to buy anything. Why is the shop there? Don't know. But the first like major NPC is the alcohol guy, I think.
Mm-hmm.
And it, I think he may have hired you. I think the dialogue sounded like that. But he was expecting you at least, right? He
Yeah.
gives you, he tells you what to tell the guards to let you through and
Yeah.
whatnot.
Yeah.
And that's pretty much the entirety of like detective gameplay I've gotten. Like the rest was just crazy people talking nonsense
Yeah.
and random civilians joining my party for some reason.
Yeah.
Like, how does that even make sense?
Yeah, it was more like once the dialogue come up for you to make a choice, you pick the choice that you want. And this is why I hate when games do this. Once I pick a choice, I shouldn't be given the option to pick the latter.
Oh yeah. Some dialogues had that where it just could pick both choices. Like,
everything is like that in this game. So that kind of strikes out the detective narrativeness that you get, that narrativeness that you have when it comes to talking to these NPCs. Because what's the point of talking to them and giving the player the choice if they could go back and get the other choice outcome?
Get the same dialogue and have the same choices again. Yeah,
over and over and over again. You know, so the writing isn't not really in style of a detective mystery solve game. You know, it doesn't have that feeling that that's what we're doing. It just feels like we're just trying to get to the bottom of what this mystery thing is. We're just an ordinary person just doing that. We don't have no type of authority. We haven't not once shown a badge or gave our credentials to anybody. Nobody know who we are. You know, and the NPCs that we are coming across, they really don't have an agenda anyway, except, hey, my daughter's lost, or because you really don't find these items or situations where these people is looking for in the first place. Not sure if the ending affects that, because I haven't beaten the game yet, but it goes to show that the writing is all over the place in this one.
Yeah, I mean, it just doesn't make any sense to me. Like, on one hand, we're supposed to be a detective, but we're not interrogating anybody. And everyone you talk to just has some random ass shit to say. And why are we stealing, like, the knives and whatever from this kid's house, like, on the footage right now? Like, why can't I even steal all this shit from the guy? It's like, huh? It's just the entire gameplay is just not about solving anything. It's just run around, click on everything in hopes that you find something that tells you, alright, you need to go here now to progress. But there's no such thing. It's just really fucking random. Like, run around here and there and then backtrack and go to the old locations because maybe something changed by now and we don't know. And I don't know. there's nothing that kind of guides you to solving anything, right? They, I'm not even talking about like a proper quest log or anything, but there's no I don't know the English word for it. Like usually when you play a game that has like any sort of narrative, the game is kind of nudging you towards the next objective, right? That's what games do all the time. Like even if there's no quest log or anything, or even a story, like the game still tries to push you in the right direction, right? That's what games do, because as the game, you want the player to progress and finish the game.
Mm-hmm.
But there's no such thing in this game. It's just you just run around trying to find something, but you don't know what it is. So you just click on everything, talk to everybody, and it's boring because none of these characters are remotely interesting. They have no backstory, no opinion, they don't do anything, they just say random shit. So it's not really fun or interesting, and it doesn't hook anyone. So the story setup was already bad with the tutorial and zero cutscenes or anything, and then you have all these characters that just look whack, but they're not interesting, and you don't have any type of interesting music or locations. So what keeps the player playing this game? I don't understand. Like what's the hook here? What's the interesting part?
I guess
I have
I
maybe
guess
you found something because I didn't.
I guess of learning where the pink stuff is coming from. Apparently there's some type of meteorite, like a rock, and every time you get close to it, you get kind of cosmic sick.
Yeah,
I believe
got that
that's
too.
what is worded in the game. You get cosmic sick, and what happened? There's no explanation in the state menu about cosmic sick. Apparently what it does, it just gets you sick. It applies one of them states where you know, I guess I'm not sure what it is, but I don't know why. I do agree, I don't know why developers, you know, push a tutorial explaining everything in the game where the player isn't going to experience any of that for probably 30 more minutes. But they did include a help file which in the menu, which is okay. You know, they should have just kept it like that. You know, you want to learn about the other states. Maybe the detective, you know, was given the
not
book.
ideal though.
It's not,
It's
but
like it's a really RPG maker way of doing it. Like it's okay, I guess, but it's kind of jank and not really accessible. I don't know.
back in the day, games had manuals. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but this game
And
doesn't. How do you claim making a early 90s game not including a manual PDF file?
they could do a PDF file,
But they didn't.
Yeah, they didn't.
So where's that part of your early 90s game? Like where's my manual? Where's my cool manual with all the cool character art and screenshots
Inside the help file on your items menu.
Yeah, but that's not a manual though. Where's my physical manual, or at least my PDF file manual with like all the custom art and the characters on the pages and whatnot? Where's that?
I don't know, man.
Oh, the early 90s games had that.
Yeah.
They had a little Super Mario manual, and you had like cool art drawn on it, like characters on the pages and whatnot. Where is that? If you want to do an early 90s game, then do it right and proper and give me my manual. I don't know. The in-game item type manual with the, you know, with the common event that opens like a choice box or whatever. That's like really janky, and it's not quick to look up. It's like unwieldy to use, right? You gotta open your menu, you gotta use the item, then this stupid ass choice box pops up and you gotta pick your choice, and then you get maybe a show picture command that gives you the information you need. Like it's not quick, it's not fast enough, right? It's clunky to use. Like I just want to quickly check what this fucking state does, and I have to do all this fucking work going through the menu. So instead of that, I would have just made a proper tutorial and give me the information about the state when it matters, and not at the start of the game, and not in some kind of fuckly manual item. Just the first time when I'm affected by this state, make the character comment on it or something like that, tell me what it does. So I seen the icon, I got my explanation, and now I know, all right, this icon means I'm nauseated, and nausea means this and that. Right? But since it was in the very start of the game, I already forgot about it. So the only thing I could do is use the in-game manual, which was also never mentioned that you have that. So if you never checked your inventory, or maybe you just skipped it and never saw it, you wouldn't even know you have that. It's not mentioned that you have a manual in your inventory. So you gotta find that by chance, and then go through all that effort just to look up a state. I don't know, it's just clunky to me.
I mean, it's more convenient than actually having to open the PDF file.
Oh yeah, sure. I was just making a joke about how you claim to make an early 90s game but not have a manual.
But I do agree, it shouldn't really matter until you actually are affected by it in the game. Maybe the doctor could educate you about the different states, because that's health stuff, right?
Yeah, you could put it everywhere at once. Like, you could put the in-game manual in there. You can still make the doctor say it when he cures you, saying like, "Oh man, you got this cosmic nausea shit. Like, let me get rid of it," or something, and comment on what it does when he heals you. Like, there's a lot of places you could have put it, but you didn't, and that's why it's shank.
I think what the developer is trying to do is create that nostalgic feeling with like the older. I'm trying to give an example of a game where you don't really get as much information as you should, but it's enough there to have the player have an idea of what they need to do next. But what's so unique about your gameplay is you didn't know what to do at all.
Yeah, I had no fucking idea. I was just running around places,
and I was laughing so hard. Like, I wish
how
you could have
heard. Figure out what to do. It's like there's no indication. It's just, solve this case, but how? And then I was stuck in this cave. Like, I couldn't get out anymore. There was no way out.
My hunch was to talk to everybody. I
did.
I don't talk.
That I didn't.
I don't talk to a lot of NPCs unless they're important. But in this game, I knew speaking to, and soon as I figured that, oh wow, you could pick up stuff off the ground, I get into exploring mode. And that's how I like RPGs. I like to find stuff and explore, and it just kind of maybe check every NPC, every nook and cranny. But I did feel like the whole time I didn't know exactly what to do, where to go.
That's the gameplay. Like, you were looking for something, but you have no fucking idea what it is. So what ends up happening is, like, you go everywhere and click everything and everyone in hopes of, like, finding a hint at where to go next.
You have to, because when I picked up a key, I was like, oh, okay, this is the key to that shed that was locked. If you didn't talk to
Exactly.
that shed and knew it was locked or open, you wouldn't even know what to do with that key.
Exactly. I found
Because
2 keys. Like I had a rusty key and one
yeah,
other key. I have no idea what these keys were for.
the rusty key went to the cellar that's inside the cave. The
Yeah,
first
yeah. I
cave you went
found that by
into.
accident because I went back because I bought a pickaxe. So I went back to the cave to mine the silver, and the chick I had with me mentioned that there is this hatch. I didn't even see that it was a hatch. It didn't look like a hatch to me. So I didn't check it. It just looked like some random trash on the ground, like everything else on this game, right?
I,
Everything just looks like some tape on the ground. I don't fucking know.
I didn't get it. I don't think I got that dialogue with her saying. I think I found a hatch without anybody, if I'm not
Yeah,
mistaken.
I've seen it, but like I never did anything with
Yeah,
it because it just looked like
you thought it
dirt or
was
whatever.
unimportant. Yeah,
Exactly. That's the problem because nothing stands out. Like no interactable stands out in this game, except for coins for some reason. Like,
yeah.
I don't know what to click on, and I don't see what's important and what's not, and I can't possibly know what is important and what not. Like how am I supposed to know that these planks I'm walking past are important for me to pick up? It's planks. Why would I be carrying planks around? Like what? How am I supposed to know that? So you just find everything by accident by clicking everything. And to me, this is not fun gameplay. Running around clicking on everything without thinking.
It's a point and click adventure, though.
But it's not. Point and click adventure is not that. Curse of Monkey Island, that's a point and click adventure, and that's a good one. And in there, you never not know what to do. You always know where to go and what kind of puzzle or quiz or whatever you need to solve. Like there's always some form of direction in there. But here it's not. It's just you're just there, and all these people are just kind of there with no real purpose.
Mm-hmm.
Like most of them just talk nonsense, right? They don't give you any hints, and you're not interrogating them or anything. Like they don't tell you what happened, or nothing really. Like except for the few you can recruit, I guess. But not
Mm-hmm.
even then. Like the only other NPC I found was that woman. And she just told me she want to get out of this place, but why am I taking her with me? I'm a detective. Why am I taking a civilian with me? That doesn't make any sense to me.
Yep.
So, and then so when she dies, she just leaves the party permanently. So that sucks. So that means whenever your NPC dies, you're just gonna reload the game because you don't want to lose them. You don't know if you need them later to solve a puzzle or anything. You don't know. So you just keep reloading the game whenever anybody dies because you don't want to lose them. And then I'm progressing in the game and I get to an area where the boy's father is kicking down the log bridge I made because I stole all their shit. So now I gotta descend into that ravine, and the NPC leaves me because she said, I ain't going there. Alright, so now I'm losing the party member, and I have no other choice than to lose her because there's no other way out.
So hold on. You talking about in that part where you fall down?
Oh no, there's this area where you cut down the tree. Get to
Yeah.
that wandering. Yeah, if you stole the shit from the house with the boy, the father will come and kick down the log, so you can't go back.
I didn't experience that.
Yeah, you didn't steal anything. I stole everything. Like I stole the axe from upstairs and the knives and whatnot. I took everything with me. So when you go to that area and you're trying to go back, the father is kicking down the log, so you can't go back. And so
Oh.
what happens is you have to climb down into that ravine, and that's where the NPC leaves you as well because you just said, "No, I ain't going there," and then you're all alone again. So the game just kept soft locking me. Like at one point, I was in that cave,
Uh-huh.
and I guess I was missing an item. I saw you on your stream. You came in from the other side with the rope. You climbed down the hole in the forest with the rope.
Yeah.
But that's not where I came from. I came in from the other
Yeah,
side.
you
I
came from the
jumped
other
down a
side.
different hole,
Yeah.
and I couldn't get back out anymore. So I was stuck in that cave with the two boys. I didn't put the rope in the big hole. I couldn't go back out the other way. I was on 1 HP, so I couldn't beat the boss, the mutated whatever it
The
is. I
mole.
couldn't beat that either. So
And,
what the fuck am I
and
supposed to
you
be
know
doing?
the reason why I said that is because where the part where the you fall down into the cave, if you got NPCs like party members, you lose all of them.
Yeah, that happened to my NPCU too. Like you just drop down the cave and they just gone. And I was like, what the fuck, man? Where's my people?
Like, why? There's no dialogue or anything.
Exactly. Nothing explained. They just gone, and now I'm stuck in this cave. I can't get back up. I can't beat the boss. I can't go back to heal.
Yeah.
I can't do nothing. So the game just kept soft locking me in places, and I was just not having it. It's like, how the fuck is this? This is not difficult game design. This is not difficult. It's just the developer fucking with you,
Yeah.
and it's not fun. Like it hasn't been fun in the early 90s, and it's not fun now. And there's these instant death things too. Like there's this hole right in the first cave you visit. Right, there's this hole with the breaking planks on it. If you step on it, you're just dead. That's it. You're just dead. Reload the game. You're a fucking idiot. Right? But it doesn't.
Not really. You're dead. On the plane, I did test it. The one with the part with the circle. If you walk on the other side, you're fine. But you walk on like the broken side, you're gonna fall through.
There's this one hole. Like there's two holes with it. One has like the minecart next to it.
Yeah.
Right. That's one that breaks.
Yeah.
And there's another one. Like if you go the other direction,
that's what I'm
one.
talking about. That's what I'm talking about. On the same plank. On the same plank.
I tried
one
the
side
left and the right spot.
One side is broke, the other one is perfect. You walk on the perfect side, then you won't fall. I tested that.
I don't know, man. Maybe we're talking about different hole because I tried both. It's a 2x2 hole. Right?
I know you're talking about. Yeah.
Yeah. So, but what's the point of that? Like that whole mechanic just instantly killing you.
You gotta watch your step. You gotta watch where you're going.
Yeah, but it's not teaching you anything. There's no point in this hole.
The game is based on real life scenario. You know, like
nah, it's not.
You know, like
if it was a real life scenario, I wouldn't be in that cave, man.
Put it like this: you got one life. There's no such thing as a phoenix down. You dead, you're dead.
Yeah, in this
game, you're dead when you die. That's what when I got my first NPC, well, my second, my first one, I said I don't see any reviving items. So I told myself, I said this gotta be permadeath. You know, this is permadeath because one sign's permadeath if your main character dies first is game over. I saw that in your stream. I'm like, okay, this game is this. But when I experienced it for myself and realized that once my NPC died, they say something, oh, I can't go on with this anymore, and they just left. I know they're gone, but I'm thinking either they went to the doctor, because one guy did say, I need to go to the doctor. I'm pulling out of this. They probably went back to the doctor, and you can probably hire them back again. I don't know how that works, but, it's based on real life. You know what I mean? Like you die, you're dead. I mean, It is what
Yeah,
it
but
is.
it's just not good design though.
Nah, it's not. I
And
agree.
I'm not even talking about the combat. Like if they die in combat, yeah, sure, whatever. But having like a hole in there, right, that just instantly kills you if you step on it, it doesn't teach me anything. Right? Because it's not consistent either. Like the other hole with the planks on it was perfectly fine to walk over. So what happens, what you just taught me is I have to manually save every few steps because the game could just fucking kill me for no reason at any point.
That's basically what they're telling you to do. Keep saving
But
game.
that is shit design. Like, excuse me, but this is not fun. Having to manually save every couple of steps is not fun. It's not a fun gameplay design. It's not now, and it hasn't been in the 90s. Like, what are you talking about? This is not good. It's not fun. Like, it's like I could understand if the game was trying to teach me, watch how the planks over the holes look, so I'm not stepping on the broken ones. I can understand that, but that's not what the game does. Because the other hole with the exact same fucking planks doesn't break. So it's not like I can realize which ones break and which ones don't, because they look exactly the fucking same. So the game isn't teaching me anything. It's just saying, fuck you, you better save 5 steps before, otherwise you're just gonna do it all over again.
Oh my gosh.
So that's just a big fucking middle finger in my face every time.
You don't like that, huh?
No, it's not good design, it's not fun. No, like, no matter how you look at it, this is not fun.
The game is not fun?
No part of this game is fun. Like, no single part in this game was fun for me. Not the gameplay, not the story, not the aesthetics, not the non-existent music. Nothing.
Oh my gosh.
I mean, the whole thing doesn't make any sense to me. Like, am I playing a detective game or am I not? It's this weird, like, it's this weird thing where RPG Maker developers just throw a whole bunch of shit together and call it a game. Right? Why is there even turn-based combat here? It is a detective type game, an adventure type game. Why am I turn-based fucking basic RPG Maker fight these enemies, and my only option is attack? Why is this shit even there? It's not fun. It's boring. I ain't even controlling all these characters. I can only control one character. The rest is auto battle. Like, how is that fun?
No, you could control them.
I mean, yeah, they all had attack, I guess.
No, they had actually skills and
yeah, if you managed to like level up, yeah. Or if you had a shit ton of money, there were some NPCs that give you a skill for like $70. But like, like there's no reason for me to fight. Why am I fighting these enemies? Why should I? There's no reward. Like, I'm not getting any money. I'm just losing health. So I'm fighting these enemies, I'm losing health, but I'm not gaining any money to even heal myself. So what's the point of combat? Why would I ever fight anything? I don't know.
Well, I could tell you this. The game tells you that combat is difficult.
Okay, but
Alright? But
what of it?
But I think exploring is more beneficial to you in order for you to survive the combat.
But there's no reason to do combat.
You're gonna have to do combat though. That's the thing. certain enemies drop certain items that you need in order to
Okay,
progress.
so I need to fight certain enemies, but I can avoid all other enemies.
And I believe these enemies don't respawn, if I'm not mistaken.
I don't
At
know.
one
The
time,
random enemies I fought certainly did. And that's what I mean. Like the combat is meaningless. Like when you're not even giving me enough resources for me to heal back up,
it's tough. It's tough.
there's
I
no
know.
reason for me to fight because level ups are meaningless. They don't even make you any like noticeably stronger.
It's tough.
And the XP you get is low as fuck as well. Like there's no reason for me to fight.
It's tough. I mean, don't get me wrong. Like my people's now is strong where I'm hardly getting any damage received to me. And I'm like level 8 or 9, something like that.
Yeah, but
I've been fighting, and so I'm basically overpowered right now. But at the same time, I struggle. I resetted my game probably over 20 times when the NPC got one-shotted. Like I've been like I do agree with you. Where's the fun in that? That is not fun. I agree.
I get it. Like you're trying to emulate like old games, but it's not fun, man. It's just not fun. It's not something you should be emulating in your game. Like if you want to make a retro style game, that's fine, and make it look retro. Or make it like make the gameplay retro-ish, but don't implement shit that was there because of technical limitations. Or to pad out gameplay time because we didn't have that many games back in the day. That's not what you should be emulating. You should be emulating the parts that made retro games great and not the parts that made retro games shit. Like, I don't understand.
I mean,
why would you emulate that?
That feature could work. It could work. It's not a bad feature, but at the same time, I feel like the developer didn't do it correctly in this game. It's okay to have hard combat, but once I'm starting getting the items, you should see a noticeable difference.
I have no problem with hard combat. That's not the problem. The problem is that combat is meaningless. It's not like Dark Souls where the boss is hard, but you feel amazing when you finally beat it. It's not a skill thing. It's just you leveled up more. It's not fulfilling. You just had more items or had a better RNG. Like it's not fun. That has nothing to do with hard combat. It's just boring. It's just bigger number. Right? That's the difference. It's not that combat is hard. The combat is literally just attack, and the enemy attack. That's what combat is in this game. It's just use your attack button most of the time.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not like I'm not winning because I'm smart, or I'm not winning because I have prepared myself with this specific equipment for this enemy or something. It's just I rolled the bigger RNG, or I had the bigger level. It's not rewarding. It's not hard. It's just bigger number. Right? Bird Punch game, that's hard. And you gotta learn the control scheme. And once you do, it's rewarding because you can pull off all these sick combos and flow attacks and whatnot. And combat is suddenly easier because you know how it works. But not with this game. This game is just you got the bigger number, or you had the better RNG roll on your attack.
Yeah.
So it's not fun, it's not rewarding, and it doesn't give you anything. It doesn't give you a lot of XP, it doesn't give you any money, it doesn't give you any items. So why am I fighting these enemies? What is there to incentivize me to fight these enemies? So because all I'm getting out of it is less HP every time I fight, and no money to get myself back up in HP again. So what's the point?
You learn skills.
Yeah, but I don't need skills if I'm not fighting. So the only reason why I need to do fights is because there are mandatory battles, which is not rewarding because I'm not getting anything out of it other than whatever quest item I need. It's like there's no incentive for me to do anything here. I'm already not interested in the characters because there's no backstory to any of them. There's not a single interesting character in this game.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not interested by the story because that was just a dialogue box on a fucking billboard.
Mm-hmm.
The music isn't good because it's just some random fucking radio noise every time.
You ain't hear none of the jazz theme?
Nah, I don't think so.
Mm.
I think like one map maybe had some kind of music, I don't know, but most of it was just like random horror noises, random radio noises and whatnot. I don't know, man. The game just doesn't really do anything to hook me. Not with the characters, not with the mapping. I mean, look at this fucking bar map. This is like RTP map style. Big fucking empty spaces and a barrel everywhere so you can't get behind the fucking counter. Doesn't look great. I don't know. This is yeah, I don't know, man. The dialogue is not written well. Like, there's no funny characters either. That you can say, oh man, this game's funny at least. No, it's not funny either. It just, I don't know. There's nothing here that incentivizes me keeping playing. Like, I don't give a shit about that whiskey. Why would I care? I'm just some kind of detective. I can go elsewhere and do a job that's not as weird as this one. I don't know. It's just not a lot there to hook anybody, I feel.
Not a lot there, huh?
Yeah. Is basic RPG make a combat? And
don't
there's
say that. Please don't say that.
I mean, that's what it is. Like, it's fucking first person front view combat at that.
Yeah.
Like, no animated enemies. It doesn't look nice or anything.
Mm-hmm.
Like, the only thing that's custom here is the art.
The tile set. What you think about that?
Yeah. I mean, it's alright, I guess. It's a very minimalistic like style.
Mm-hmm.
It's not terrible, but I don't like it. It serves its purpose. Like, it's not like the ugliest thing. It does what it's supposed to do, but I'm not really a fan of the art style personally, but that's just personal preference. So the game looks alright, but there's no it's just lacking in the presentation, right? There's no cutscenes or nothing happening where you could go, oh man, why did that happen? Or how did that happen? Or why is this motherfucker transforming right now? Like, there's no show in this game. It's just tell. Yeah. Everything's just the dialogue boxes. Everything is just tell. I could read a book and get the exact same effect that I get from playing this game. Except in a book, I don't have to do the fucking random fucking turn-based battles.
Yeah.
That are meaningless, right? So I could have just read a book about some kind of whiskey transforming people. And that would probably been more interesting than this game.
Wow. So this is a game that's on Steam, guys. The developer invested the $100. And they invested a lot of time making this game. You know, the art, you know, we got custom art. Got custom tiles, got custom animations, you know, music. They definitely went a great route to make a game.
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure they're proud of their game too, but
yeah.
I don't know, man. It doesn't give me 90s vibes, right? The game doesn't look like a 90s game, really. I guess Beavis and Butthead kind of looked like this, I don't know. But it's like gameplay wise, the only thing you emulated from retro games is like the instant game over and then reload the game. That's the only thing retro in this game, and exactly that thing is something you shouldn't be emulating. There's no need for it. If you want to put instant deaths there, just give me a fucking autosave system like any decent game. Because all it does is, okay, now I gotta reload the game. Do I really want to reload the game, or do I rather just quit and play something that's more fun?
But
nowadays,
autosave wasn't a thing though.
Yeah, autosave wasn't a thing, but the reloading wasn't fun back in the day either. You just had no other choice and no other game to play, so you reload the game and try again. Nowadays, I have 400 games on Steam. I don't need to retry. I can just refund and play something that's fun.
There you go with that refund mess.
I mean, that's what it is. We all have like an ass full of Steam library with like 80 games we haven't even touched yet. And you're expecting me to play this, get an instant game over every 5 steps, and reload the game. Do I really want to do that with my time? Like, after work, do I really want to keep reloading this fucking game, or am I just gonna play something else?
Oh, you'll play.
Nowadays, we have that choice.
You'll keep playing this game.
Nah, I wouldn't. The game didn't even hook me. Like, I don't give a shit what kind of thing corrupted the whiskey in this game. I don't give a fuck. Because the game didn't hook me with anything. The entire story was just a message box. I don't care. Like, if you at least had like a nice looking cutscene with some cool effects and whatnot, where you showed me somebody transforming, or you showed me how whatever kind of meteor fell down or whatever, like show me the fucking Nazis who experimented with it or something. But you didn't. You just gave me a fucking dialogue box and that's your story. That's not interesting. I'm sorry. Right? So, I'm not interested in this game from the start, and it just gets worse from there. So I'm not gonna keep playing. I'm just gonna refund it and play something that's actually fun.
Bats.
So back in the day, you couldn't do that. You couldn't just click refund. You had the cartridge. You couldn't give it back. There's no refund policy on cartridges back in the day, so you had to keep it, no matter if you liked it or not. And you had no other games, because the last game you got on Christmas, you already beat that 12 times. So you're gonna keep playing this shit and until you beat that, until you get your next game on your birthday as a kid. Yeah. That's how it worked back in the day, but not nowadays. Nowadays, I can just hit refund on Steam and get another game on the same day.
Yeah. They're on the same day. You ain't lying.
On the same minute, man. I'm getting my money back from Steam almost immediately.
Oh my God.
And with that same money, I can just play a different game.
Yeah, you ain't lying about that. Like, back in the day, once you got a game, you're stuck with that game.
Exactly. Back in the day, this could have worked because I had no other choice than to play what I got. But nowadays, I don't need to. I can play any of my 500 Steam games and play that instead. So I don't know why you decided to go with that shitty fucking instant death mechanic and keep reloading your fucking game and manually save your fucking game every couple of stats, because you don't know what the game does to you.
I mean, you're not going to keep dying over and over and over like that.
Did you see my footage though? You're gonna keep dying over and over again. You're walking on some fucking planks that break. You walk into a fucking boss out of nowhere. You walk into a fucking enemy that just spawns in your fucking face. Like, huh?
Well, nobody say nothing about Bird Bunch's game. You're gonna keep dying in that game.
Yeah, but in Bird Bunch's game, it's your own fault. Because you don't know what the fuck you're doing. You see, Bird Bunch's game gives you all the tools you need, right, to play the game. It introduces you to the mechanics step by step, unless you play Edge of Reality, where you're supposed to already know that shit. But it never feels like the game was unfair. I just lost because I sucked. Like, I didn't know what to do or how to do it. In this game, you just walk and then you dead.
Yeah.
There's nothing you could have done because you didn't know these planks could break. and there's no way you could tell because you couldn't know. How would you know? So now you're dead. Now you're reloading. All right, let's try the other plank. Oh, that breaks too, and now you're dead again. Okay, so maybe okay. In this other hole though, it doesn't break. So it's not like all the planks break. So you can't know which break and which don't. So every time you step over a hole, it could just be that it breaks and you're dead. And now you're reloading the game for the 100th time, and that's a lot of fun. Not. I don't know. It's not. Nah. Out of all the things you could have emulated from retro games, you chose this shit. Like that hasn't been fun back in the day either. Like when did you ever play a game where you game overed and you thought, "Oh my god, this is so fun," being game overed and having to reload the game? When was that ever fun?
Well, at least when you die, you get to witness this cool cutscene, this cool art of the character.
How is that cool art though?
I mean, it's drawn by it's original art. It don't look too bad,
Wow.
especially the little mantis guy holding the liquor bottle. That looks pretty cool.
Yeah, you can get original art with any game you buy that's not RPG Maker.
Mm.
And it's not like this art looks particularly great, does it? Like it's custom art, sure,
I mean,
but
it looks okay. It looks comic bookish, look 90ish. It does.
Yeah, but it's not great either. Like it's okay, I guess. But it's not really wow, right? You're not gonna go, wow, this looks amazing, right? On the game over screen. It's just some dude with an ugly ass beard, and that's fucking it.
Oh man,
this custom art, yeah. So what though? Fucking custom art. Man.
I mean, my true experience with the game, like, I had a problem with. I feel like the game should be balanced better when you have more characters. Like, I shouldn't have to be dying like 2 hits, especially on the double attack from character. You know what I'm saying? And given the fact that it's already hard to heal yourself, like it is in this game. It is really hard to heal yourself, which in real life. It's hard to heal yourself in real life if you don't have the money.
Yeah, but you ain't fighting no mutants in real life either.
I'm just saying, if it does happen.
Man, if it does happen, you're not there. You know what you would do? You would get the fuck out of there. If you ever saw a mutant, you're not gonna be like, oh, I'm gonna smash that guy with my hammer. No, you're gonna run the fuck out of there.
Oh my god, I can't read. You ain't lying, bro. You ain't lying, but I'm just saying, man, like, I mean, it's RPG Maker. He can only develop to his ability.
Yeah,
and this is
I guess.
This is what he wanted to make.
Yeah, you can do that.
Now, don't get me wrong, like, it does boggle the player's mind, because like when you get a key, you do get, and you know where it goes, you do feel accomplished. You do feel like you did accomplish something. You were successful at doing something. You do. You actually do.
I clicked on a random thing and I found a key by chance. That doesn't sound fulfilling to me. I don't know what you're talking about.
You like, okay, I know where this lock at. And for example, you find a piece of paper with a combination up there. Right? You put the combination in that's on the paper. It's wrong. Right? But
I don't know.
If you look at it differently, then the right combination is there the whole time. It's part of the puzzle. It has some good parts.
I didn't get to any puzzles.
Yeah, I'm just saying it has some good parts to it.
It could be, but puzzles are just puzzles. Who gives a shit? I expect a puzzle to be in a detective game anyway.
I think if you would have got to the places I got to, you probably would have opened up more to the game. But
Yeah,
the
maybe
game,
if there was any sort of guidance there and any sort of hint of what I'm even looking for or any sort of interesting characters,
But-
maybe, but there wasn't.
I think the game failed you in the beginning by the permadeath, the one hitter quitters.
It's been essentially three things, right? It's been the introduction, like this whole tutorial room is shit. Then with the story on a billboard, like that's an absolute fucking no-go. And then you start out and the first character you meet is a shopkeeper, despite you having no money at this point. Like there's nobody there that goes like, oh man, you got this wacky ass town down the road. No, you're in the middle of fucking nowhere and there's for some reason a shopkeeper. That's not interesting.
I think the shopkeeper's there for if you choose easy mode, you got $200.
Yeah, that's the second thing that put me off the game. Why the fuck are you starting the game off telling me there is an easy mode? Like, who the fuck is gonna pick easy mode?
You'd be surprised.
Like, if you already know your game is shit on normal mode, then don't put an easy mode. Fix your normal mode.
You'd be surprised who choose easy mode. You'd be surprised.
Nah. If the game tells me before I even start the game that there's an easy mode because the normal mode is so incredibly hard that nobody is ever gonna play the game on normal, then your easy mode should be the normal mode and your normal mode sucks. Like any game, which never happens, like to be honest, this only happens with RPG Maker games, is when they put like, oh, don't forget there's an easy mode. That just means you didn't balance the game. Every time. And I'm pretty sure you're gonna agree with me. Every time a game tells you there's an easy mode, it's not balanced. If you can recall any of your games. It's just with RPG Maker. No other developers do this shit. Right? Start the game. I'm not even invested
RPG
yet.
Maker like that.
I'm not doing RPG Maker like that. I'm doing the fucking RPG Maker developers like that. Because they fucking all suck. Look, if you start your game off, I know nothing about the game, right? I don't know how it works. I don't know how the combo works. I don't know how the items work. I know nothing about the game. So the first thing you tell me is the entirety of your fucking state effects, which I'm not gonna remember. The entirety of your fucking item effects, which I'm also not gonna remember. And that I can get drunk of whiskey. I don't know how that is important info I need to know before even starting the game.
Ain't that what y'all like to get drunk in real life?
No. Like, how is that information I need to know before I even started playing? Right? That's the first strike, so to say, right? This is the first, like, if you go by Burt Bunge's, like, mechanic, this is the first strike. You're giving me your fucking tutorial before I even started playing and know anything about your game. Like, that's strike number one. Strike number two is you told me your entire story in a dialogue box. And in a single one at that. Like, it's just a billboard. So that's strike number two, and I haven't even left the tutorial yet. So strike number three is the immediate start of the game is just as boring. There's no character telling me, oh man, you finally arrived in the town. I've been waiting for you. I've hired you. Right? Or anything like that. Like, I'm just arriving there for whatever reason. I don't know. Why? Why am I investigating this again? Like, nobody told me to. So, we got no music. We got no atmosphere there. I'm just walking across the map to the distillery. And this guy all of a sudden tells me, oh, tell the guards the magician sent you. I haven't even met the guards yet. Why are the guards in this field? And only two of them. And why is there a naked guy on the field? Why is there a cave?
Yeah.
And there's just no direction to anything or any reason for me to, like, wanting to find out what's going on. because you didn't hook me to begin with, right? Like there was nothing that invested me into wanting to find out what happened. And that's strike number 3. And from there on out, I just started skipping dialogue because none of these characters I talked to prior had anything interesting to say. So I was like, all right, the characters are just all gonna be that, some random ass dialogue that doesn't mean anything, and that's it. So I just started skipping dialogue, and I was just kind of skipping every area too because nothing stood out to me. Right now, there was no blinking or any hint that I could pick anything up. So how was I supposed to know I could pick it up? I was just running around looking for something which I couldn't find because I didn't know I could pick anything up. I started clicking on everything at some point because I realized, oh man, there's stuff I can pick up, but it doesn't look any different than like any other random thing that's on the ground. And that's how the game works. Like there's no direction. You're just supposed to be clicking everything, and once you do, the game just kind of happens on its own. Right? Because you pick up everything, that means you automatically have everything you need. You don't know why you need it or why you picked it up, but at some point you're just gonna need it. Like the rope. You found the rope, you don't know why you want the rope or why you need the rope. But you needed the rope for the big hole, right? But you didn't know that. You just picked it up. So once you start just picking up everything and talking to everybody, the game happens on its own.
Yes.
It's not like you figured something out.
Well,
it just happens.
Some items you do need to buy in order to progress. Like you do need to buy rope, dynamite, pickaxe. You have to actually have the money.
Exactly. That's another inconsistency though.
Yeah.
I found 2 dynamite packs. But you can also buy them. So I'm not sure. Do I need to buy this or can I find it elsewhere? Because I have no money already, right? So I'm not buying the rope because I can afford it. So I'm looking for a rope, but I don't know if I can even find a rope out in the wild.
Yeah.
Because it's inconsistent. It's not like I need to find everything to progress. No, I sometimes need to buy it. But I can't tell. I don't know. So I'm just running around looking for a rope because I'm broke.
Yeah.
So it's inconsistent. It's all this inconsistency stuff combined with the instant deaths and the boring and unfairly hard combat and running around doing shit. Like, there is no incentive for me to do anything on this.
Yeah.
It's like, why am I here again? Like, why am I picking this up? And why, It's just not really interesting. Like this, I don't know. It's just you got no hook. You got the most. You use the worst way of making a tutorial combined with the worst way of telling a story, and you added no direction on top of it. And then you added boring ass characters that don't mean anything. And it's just, it doesn't make for a very like compelling game to me. Like, this is boring. Like, maybe you got an awesome plot with like Nazi shit and whatnot and meteorites and experiments. That's all cool, but ultimately I don't give a shit. Like, you didn't introduce me to your story. You didn't immerse me in this place. It's just a random place with some random art in there. It doesn't mean anything to me because you didn't introduce me.
Facts. Well, I think overall the game needs an overhaul in terms of what's a key item versus a item that costs a lot of money but you need it anyways. But if I use said item, I no longer can use it as a key item to like get to new areas. Like it could cause a whole bunch of havoc to those players that like to use items up. Like me personally, I don't spend a lot of items when I play RPG unless I have to. I keep everything. I don't like to sell nothing. None of that. I'm a hoarder when it comes to like inventory and armor and weapons.
Pretty much everybody does that.
But in this game, you have no idea. I need a stick of dynamite to blow this cave wall up. But I need to sell my dynamite so I could buy a healing item. Because dynamite give you 20 gold per sell, and the healing item is 8, and you really need it. So you don't know if you need the dynamite or not, but you're selling it because you think, it's a only in battle use item. And not no overworld item where you need to progress to the next area. So it can be tricky, and I feel like you can get soft lock in a way.
Oh yeah, I mean, it happened to me like twice.
So what does that tell you about players with low tolerance who won't continue your game because of a feature like that? I don't think it's a good idea.
I mean, a soft lock should never happen.
Yeah, I don't like now.
In any game, a soft lock should never happen. There should never be a point in the game where the player can screw himself over. Should never happen. Like any dungeon you put there where you can't leave or some shit like that, it just shouldn't happen. Like putting the player in a cave where he can't leave, and now he like, imagine if I only had one save and I saved in the cave and now I can't get out and I'm low on health and I can't do anything. Like that situation should just never happen, ideally. Because now your player has to potentially start the entire fucking game over, and that's not gonna happen. Like, most of the time, this is a hard quit point. If I have to restart the game, potentially the entirety of it, I'm not gonna. I'm just gonna play something else. Because I'm not gonna do all that shit again, just because you screwed me over. Nah.
What you feel about? Do you feel like the exploration is rewarding?
No.
I think
Not
it
at all.
is. I think it is, to be honest.
I have not found a lot of healing items or anything that would have helped me to actually play the fucking game.
Well, you find a lot of like water bottles and
The
malt
most
liquor.
useless item in the game is a fucking water bottle.
Well,
It does nothing.
The malt liquor is actually pretty handy right now. Like
But I didn't want to get drunk because being drunk is a bad thing.
Because it restores your SP, your magic points,
which I didn't need.
Once you learn the healing spell. Very useful.
Yeah, but I never got there because combat was never anything rewarding. Why would I do combat?
Facts.
What? So why would I try to level up to get a healing skill so I can heal myself because I'm fighting? Like, why not just not fight in the first place? And I think the game needs an overhaul, but on a more fundamental level. Like, if you want to make detective style gameplay, then make it detective style. Why is there a fucking turn-based combat system in there? This is so unnecessary. I'm a detective. I'm not some kind of fucking Ghostbuster. I'm just a regular dude that hasn't even have a weapon at the start of the game. I have to buy or find one. I'm not even armed. I'm a civilian.
But people depend on you as a detective. People depend on you.
Yeah, but I'm a detective. I find out shit. I'm not killing monsters. I'm not a monster hunter. I'm a detective. So why am I fighting all these battles? Why am I fighting an army of fucking mutants? I'm not a superhero, I'm just a guy. So the game should be, if anything, the game should want me to avoid combat. Because I'm just a dude. I'm not supposed to be fighting these fucking mutants.
You got a gun?
Yeah, I got a gun, which is useless apparently. And gameplay-wise, I think this game should have been more like a stealth game, or at least encourage me to not fight. Instead of the opposite, like fight these fucking useless battles. It's not rewarding, it doesn't give you anything, but you still gotta do it for some reason. Like this doesn't feel right to me. Like I'm not a SWAT team or some shit. Like I'm just a dude. Like I don't know why I'm encouraged to fighting these guys. I'm here to solve the case why it happens and not eradicate all of them. Like let the army do that shit. So in my opinion, this should have been more like a stealth game, or like a general avoid combat type of game and not fight combat. And there should have been more investigation stuff. Like I'm not investigating anything. I'm just picking up random items everywhere. It's not. I don't feel like a detective. I just feel like a clueless idiot who just picks up everything he finds. And somehow it works out. It's not very detective-like. I'm not solving no case. I'm just picking up money everywhere. So I don't know. Like I think the game needs an overhaul on a very fundamental gameplay like a level. And there's no reason why this should be early 90s style of game. Like why is this even there? It didn't need to be there. This game would have worked just fine if instead of giving me a game over when I fall down a hole, just respawn me next to it like a fucking Zelda game. Like the game over is not necessary for anything here. It's not fun. I just need to reload. I need to potentially redo big parts of the game just because I stepped on a tile. Like, why is this there? So yeah, I think it needs an overhaul and on a very fundamental level.
Man, that's bad. That's bad.
I mean, what kind of difference would it make? Like, imagine you step into that hole, right? You fall down the hole because the planks break. That might be okay for the first time, right? Maybe I if the game auto-saved and I just respawned at the cave. Like, no game over screen, just respawn immediately. That's how I do it, right? When you die in a dungeon, you get a little game over screen, but you don't have to reload the game. The game just does that automatically to avoid you having time thinking about quitting. Right? So the game just gets you right back into game instead of giving you the moment in the main menu to reconsider. Right? That's an important part because generally if you have a game over and you have to potentially do something again, like do the dungeon again, do this map again, do this puzzle again, anything, right? If you have to replay parts of the game, that's a quit point. Right? It's a frustrating point in the game where the player could potentially quit. So what I do is I don't give the player the time to reconsider. I just put them right back into the game. They still have to redo the dungeon, but they didn't have the time to think about it. And this game does the exact opposite. It kills you instantly in the most frustrating, stupid kind of way, and then gives you a fucking game over screen, and then puts you back in the main menu. And that's the point where you go, do I really want to do this again? Or do I just quit? And what's the reason for it being that like that? It doesn't need to be like that. Why is this there? It's not... There is no fun part in it. So what was the thought process behind this? Why is this like that? Just because, 90s game, hard, that's not a good reason.
Oh, it's not.
Yeah, it's not. It's not fun. Like, this mechanic, this game over mechanic, like, even if you take, like, the big old games, like Final Fantasy 1 or 2, When you game over, you also had to reload the game. Well, reload the last save, and wherever you save, that's where you start over. If you didn't save in 3 hours, well, tough luck. Now you're gonna replay 3 hours of the game. That hasn't been fun in the early 90s either. But you had to do it because you didn't have any other games. But you can't tell me that that's fun. It wasn't fun back in the 90s. No way. No way did anyone ever go, oh, jolly, I gotta reload the game. That's so much fun. Nobody said that. But nobody had another choice because we had no other game. We only had Final Fantasy, so that's what we're gonna do. But nowadays, why would I reload this game? Fuck that, I'm gonna play something fun. So I don't quite understand why you wanted to make a 90s game, but that's not how this game feels like. The only thing that feels 90s game to me is this stupid game over mechanic. And that's the worst thing you could take from a 90s game. There's many great gameplay mechanics from a 90s game you could have taken, but you did this, and nah.
So what about... So you don't think this game has any type of player engagement?
Nope, not at all. I can't imagine anyone being engaged and interested in this game's story or characters at all.
How would their mental state have to been if they were?
I don't fucking know. They must have never played an interesting game before if they are, I guess.
What would you do? Well, you pretty much did say what you would do. You know, you'll get rid of the instant death mechanics.
Yeah.
You'll make
I
it
think
more...
every mechanic needs a reason to be there, right?
Yeah.
It needs a purpose. Because like Dark Souls has the same thing. Like you respawn at the bonfire. But that's their entire theme.
Yeah.
Right? Resurrection is the theme. And repeating, right? The ever-repeating cycle. That's the entire theme of the Soul series.
Go back and get your lost souls, if not
exactly. This entire thing, it's always death and rebirth, death and rebirth. That's the theme of Dark Souls. Every Dark Souls has that theme. It's ingrained into the game and into the gameplay. What's the reason for it being here in this game? This reloading, why is it there? What's the point of it? The purpose? Why is it there? And Dark Souls doesn't do that either. Like, you're not reloading the game, you're just restarting at the bonfire.
Yeah.
No going back to the menu unless you wanted to. Right? It doesn't do that. It just puts you back in the game.
I hardly even load game. I just hit continue every time I play.
Exactly. You just game over, you died, you hit the button, you're back at the bonfire. Let's go. But not in this game. In this game, it's like Final Fantasy 1. You just gotta reload the fucking game. And there's no reason for it being there, I feel like. Like, what's the purpose behind this mechanic? Well, because it doesn't need to be like that. Right? RPG Maker has autosave systems. You can just load the game again. Like, you can use a script call to just load the latest save file. Like, no going back to the menu. It just does that.
I think they need to autosave at every new map.
Yeah, that's the default, right? That's what every default autosave plugin does. It's like autosave on a new map. That's like a default parameter in most of the autosave plugins available. And then you can put them manually everywhere too. But in this game, on a new map would have been fine, because then I'm just at the start of the cave again. That's not so frustrating as me replaying the last 2 hours of the game. Right? So, if you really wanted to kill me off because I stepped on a plank where I had no way of telling that it could break, then just give me a fucking autosave feature so I don't have to replay the last hour of the game. But I assume the dev just didn't know any better, because they clearly had this in mind, right? So they made a button common event so it opens the save if you press shift.
Let me ask
so they knew it was frustrating.
Let me ask you a
Okay.
quick question. Do you think it's professional enough for the developer to have remember to save often? Like
No.
every time you go to the menu, to a new board, to the world map, it says save often. Or remember to
You
save
know why
your
they do
game.
that? Because they're a fucking RPG Maker developer. Nobody else does it.
I
What
think
other game do you remember where the game tells you to save often?
I don't think.
Like what AAA game does that? I don't know a single one. Maybe Resident Evil does it because they have a save point system, right? You gotta go to the typewriter. I think they might give you a hint when you start the game. Maybe I don't even remember, but I don't remember a game where there's constantly a hint somewhere. Remember to save often because it's not necessary nowadays. Any decent game you play nowadays, any RPG will have an autosave feature. Every single one of them. Every Skyrim, every Dragon's fucking Dogma, every pretty much every modern RPG has autosave. For that exact same reason.
But this
Because
isn't
it's
modern.
frustrating.
This is 90s.
Yeah. And that's the only reason because it's 90s. And why is it 90s? There is no reason for it to be like that.
Facts.
Like that's the only 90s quote unquote mechanic they took from the 90s is to reload the game. What else in this game feels like a 90s game to you?
Battle system.
Okay, but that's RPG Maker default.
The music.
What music?
There's music.
I don't know. I never heard a music track in this game. I only heard.
The short dialogue. 90s didn't really have a lot of dialogue.
Yeah, but they had no choice.
The graphics.
The graphics? I don't know what kind of graphics you played back in the day.
Art style. I mean, it kind of reminds you like you on the older console.
I don't know.
It don't look.
The only thing this
kinda-
art style reminds me of is maybe South Park.
Yeah, it got a little South Park, got a little Earthbound mixed to it.
Okay, let's take the art style. Let's be lenient and say the art style is early 90s. Sure, but what's the reason for the reload thing? Why is it there? What does that have to do with the 90s? They only did it because they needed to save space on the cartridge.
Yeah.
So why is this why is it in this game?
I mean, they taking advantage of the modern technology, like you're able to save, but at the same time, those games were more challenging because of the fact that if you the lack of save games requires skills, but this game requires you to.
It doesn't.
This game requires you to save often because if you, like you say, play for 2 hours and you hit a wall trap and you die permanently, you gotta do that 2 hours again. But that's on the player. That's the player's fault.
Yeah, I mean,
because he was told to save the game numerous of times.
Yeah, but why though? Like that's like the entire game's difficulty relies on the player forgetting to press shift. What kind of fucking difficulty is that? Like, the game is not difficult. It's just the game kills you whenever it wants to. So the only difficulty is me forgetting to press shift and save my game every couple of steps.
Yeah.
Like that's not fun. And that's unnecessary. Like just save the game automatically.
Yeah.
Right? So what's the point of that? There's no need to implement it this way. Even if you want to make a 90s like retro style game, you can still take advantage of modern technology and improve the quality of life without taking away from the retro feeling of it.
Yeah.
That's why I complain about all these retro RPG Maker games so much, because What they do is they implement the shit stuff from the retro days, like the no autosave and the low quality of life stuff. You can still put that in a retro game nowadays and make the quality of life modern, but keep the retro feeling. That's what you're supposed to be doing, and not implementing the fucking reload the game every 5 steps mechanic they had. That's what you're not supposed to be emulating, at least in my opinion. It's like with the save points, right? Every fucking RPG Maker game implements fucking save points for some reason, but you can also save anywhere anyway. So what's the point of all that shit? Just put an autosave in there. Like there's no reason for your save points aside maybe they also heal you, so you can make them just heal points and be done with it. Like there's no save system needed. And you can save anywhere. If you like, why do you have save points if I can save at any point?
That makes sense.
Like you don't need save crystals. Just make them heal crystals. Maybe if you want me to heal at those crystals, just let them heal me. And you don't need no dialogue. Do you want to save? Blah 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 blah. We don't need any of that. Just click on the heal crystal, get healed, get on with the day. Simple as that. And you don't even need a manual save button. Just make a good autosave system and your player will never have to bother with saving. And that's how it's supposed to be.
I don't mind saving.
Of course not, but you're also used to it, right? You're playing a lot of RPG Maker. You're used to manually saving.
I'm of the 90s, yeah, so yeah.
Exactly.
I'm used to
I'm technically of the 90s too, but
I'm used to long passwords and everything.
Exactly. But in nowadays games, you don't need to worry about saving. In most games, right? The game just does that.
Yeah.
You die and the game already saved for you. You just respawn at the cave entrance or wherever. Don't need to save. It's not necessary anymore. So why do these RPG Maker games keep doing that shit? Like it's a relic of the past. It doesn't need to exist anymore. You can keep the save anywhere if you want to, because some players like that. They don't trust the auto-saving. So keep that, but why do you have save crystals, manual saving, auto-saving? Why do you have everything at once? It doesn't need to be there. And in this game, autosave would have made it a lot less frustrating, because if it autosaved, I don't have to replay all that shit again. You could get rid of the game over screen too. Just reload my save automatically. Bam, put me back into action. Just like that. No fucking game over screen, no fucking menu screen. Just reload the last save and get going.
Yeah.
Would have been a lot less frustrating. It would still be a retro aesthetic. It would still play like a 90s game, but without the frustrating parts of one. At least in my opinion, you can make a retro game without the frustrating parts that has been in the retro games.
Dang.
I
mean, you said a mouthful, and I agree. Like, I mean, it makes sense. Like, with the being reminded to save, definitely kind of
only RPG Maker does do that.
Take the immersion away of the player trying to become one with the game, because you know, should I be worried about finding what's wrong with the whiskey, where this glowing pink stuff is coming from, or should I be worrying about, oh man, I need to save the game the correct way, or I think I screwed up because I didn't save it, but I made this big purchase.
Or you saved it in the wrong spot and you're now stuck in a cave and you have to restart the entire fucking game over because you didn't make a new save slot.
I got what the
fuck, man?
I got 1 HP love, no healing, and the enemy is blocking the entrance.
Yeah, exactly. And you didn't make a new save file, and now you're screwed, and you gotta start the whole game over again just because the developer was lazy.
I
don't know.
won't necessarily call them lazy. I just
No,
think they
a
wasn't.
save system like that, I think is kind of lazy. Like putting a hint everywhere, save your game, save your game, save your game, instead of making a proper save system, kind of lazy to me. I don't know. Might just be me, but I think it's kind of lazy.
All right, guys. $2.99. This game could be yours on the Steam store. Malt, Single Malt Apocalypse by
Yeah.
Will Perriarts. What you guys think? I mean, it got custom battlers, custom enemies. They even got the Mystic Quest feature. Like, before the enemy dies, they changed the battle animation, the battle sprite to a wounded one, which is pretty cool. I like that.
I saw that. Yeah, I was surprised that's there because that's a weird kind of thing to put attention to detail on there.
Yeah,
and there's so many flaws on a fundamental level of the game. Kind of weird.
The blood, and what's unique about it, the blood is pink.
I mean, it could have been fine. Like as I said, the game could be fine, but there's like a whole lot of flaws on a very basic level, like what makes a game fun and what doesn't.
But check
like,
this out, though.
Many flaws on that level.
Check this out. The blood is pink.
Yeah, but who gives a shit?
But that means
my enemies.
That means when you're
plant matter flying around. Isn't that cool?
when you're affected by the poison, it changed your blood to pink.
Wow.
Even pink ooze coming out the trees because they're affected. Wow. That's attention to detail. Think about it.
Yeah, it's an artist game, man, and that's exactly how it plays.
So you feel like artists can't make good RPG games? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah. I mean, that's what I've been saying for the past 2 years, haven't I?
I kind of disagree. I think it depends on the knowledge of the developer.
I think we had one exception on your channel so far.
What?
Where an artist game? I don't remember which one it was, but we had one game that was made by an artist that was actually well made. And the other ones, like every time an artist made a game, they kind of weird.
They
look good, but the gameplay is weak.
What about the walking sim we played?
I mean, which one of them?
The Stray Kitty game.
Stray Kitty game? Oh man, yeah, that's an artist game. But that's more like the game wasn't poorly done. It's just a very boring type game, I think. Like for me at least. Like I don't
play like Shenmue.
I never played that either.
Shenmue was big for the Sega Dreamcast because of the fact that it was a walking sim. You get to go out, get a job, form relationships. It had an awesome combat system, but rarely got walking sim, though. Technically it is. You rarely got into any combat though. But when you did, it was fine. But other than that, you just walking around exploring the city in real time and talking to people.
I guess. Yeah. So I assume it had like maybe some kind of mini game for the job or some shit.
You drive a forklift and you.
Yeah, so you actually do things.
Yeah, you actually do things. Walking. Yeah, you actually do things.
In the Stray Kitty game, you didn't do anything on that, if I remember correctly. You just walking and talking.
You was homeless. You was begging sometimes of the day.
Yeah, but you were just talking to people. Like,
yeah, basically.
There was no mini games and whatnot to make it more interesting. It's just walking.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't really enjoy that type of gameplay, like walking around talking all the time with no change of pace or anything.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I think it's called Story Bangkok or something.
Yeah, some shit like that.
Yeah, Bird Bunches Peoples, I think. Yep. But like I said,
not really my type of game, but it was well made for what it is.
Yeah, for what it was. I mean,
But this is supposed to be an adventure game, and we're just clicking on random
You are
shit.
having an adventure. You finding stuff. You solving problems. I mean,
I don't know, man. That's not what I would call an adventure.
you're doing something. You're doing some sleuth work. You know,
That's not what I would call an adventure, but okay.
you're finding boots and pickaxes and
Oh
and
yeah, totally interesting.
you're dying when when the tentacles come out the wall and grab you. That's instant death.
Oh, that's another instant death. Oh my goodness.
Oh yeah, you ain't know.
No, I didn't walk into it. No.
Yep. And I noticed like when you do some things like get a key item, you go back to that area. You know the event changes. Now there's enemies when there wasn't enemies there before.
Yeah, I noticed that too, but that's like a bad thing because I don't want more enemies. Combat is already useless. I don't need more of that.
Yeah. It's not bad though. I mean,
it's pretty bad.
I give it you know, it's not for hardcore gamers, or I wouldn't really say for retro lovers. I don't think this game.
This is not really a retro game. This is not really a challenging game.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think it's pretty bad, to be honest. I don't know. I gave this a 1 out of 10.
So will you play this over Final Fantasy remake?
No, man, I already said it on your stream. I would even play Night Marina instead of this.
Nightmare Arena is not bad though. It's actually pretty good.
Yeah, exactly. Night Marina is pretty good. It's pretty fun. Like I beat that on stream, I think 7 or 8 times.
Will you play this above Epic Wings?
No, I don't think so. I mean, I hate Epic Wings, random encounters everywhere, but even Epic Wings' story is more interesting than whatever this is.
Epic Wings wasn't a bad game either.
I mean, I thought it was pretty bad. Like the random encounters was just so bad I couldn't.
That's the only thing that counters. That's
exactly. Like the random encounters, and I don't really like RTP a lot. So from like the looks of the game, I didn't like it a lot. But the combat was interesting enough. It was deadly combat, right? But it wasn't unbalanced or anything. Like your hits were just as deadly as the enemy hits, right? I did get kind of frustrated when shit just one-shotted me for no reason. Like a lot of times in Epic Wings, my party members just died on the first turn without me even having time to move. So that was kind of annoying too. But I still think like from a story perspective alone, Epic Wings is better than this. Because this game did nothing to hook me. Epic Wings started out with an epic fucking angel versus like demon story and a fucking golden town crashing into the earth, right? This game gave me a billboard.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So even just from a story perspective, Epic Wings was a lot better. Because it had more effort put into it, right? It had a nice little cutscene and whatnot. I mean, the weird 3D rendered RPG maker RTP town thing he let fall from the looked pretty goofy, right? But at least you've seen the effort, right? There was a cutscene and you had the helicopter and you had some jokes about salty nuts and whatnot, right? It just got you right into the game and it was funny and more interesting. And this game gave you a tutorial and the story in form of a dialogue box. Like you already lost me there. Like I'm already not interested anymore.
Wishes is not a bad game. Not a bad game. Not a bad game.
Epic Wings was alright, but this game is pretty bad. Like I can't say it otherwise. Like, I think it's pretty bad.
Alright, so you gave it a 1 out of 10.
Yeah.
So what's the price?
I mean, I would refund it. Obviously, I would not pay for this. Like if I paid for this and I played the tutorial, I would have probably refunded at the tutorial. Like straight away.
Straight away, not
straight away. Like
not,
if the first thing I do in your game and it's reading the fucking tutorial for fucking states, I'm out of there. Fuck that shit. I have literally 400 other games to play.
Wow. I mean, with my experience, I feel like the game started getting more fun when I started seeing the difference in the combat. But right now, I don't know if it's bugged or not, because one thing for sure, you get no hand holding in this game. You actually need to think about what you need to do, which can enhance the gameplay. It's not bad, but I wouldn't have made this a commercial game.
I think it's bad.
I wouldn't.
I disagree.
Me personally, I would not made this a commercial game. I would just made this probably like, a game just you could download and play, maybe off of itch, and maybe the next one I'll make commercial. Because I agree with my code. It's some flaws in this game that doesn't need to be here, that should definitely be addressed. In terms of the gameplay and the story, not really much to really engage in. For $2.99, what am I actually paying for? Am I paying for the custom art that maybe the developer got someone to do themselves, or maybe they did it themselves and they just want to get time compensated? I feel like this game isn't going to be a door breaker for the developer. I think I would have released this game as a project to get my name out there, then use the feedback that I would have got from this project in order to utilize to make the project that I need to go commercially. This isn't really it, to be honest.
I mean, I did the same thing, right? Like, Tiki's Escape is a commercial game, and it's pretty much RTP. Like, aside from the busts, it's all RTP. But I still put it up commercially. I don't think you need to make it free. Like, you can sell it, and I'm sure there's some people who gonna like it, and maybe just people who have like a bad PC and they can't play all these fancy games or something like that, or maybe some guys who just don't have a lot of money to buy games. Maybe these kind of people will like this game, but like a guy like me, like you don't need hand holding, right? Like if you take Elden Ring for example, Elden Ring has no hand holding. Like, it has the usual little tutorial messages, right? Press the LB button to heavy attack and whatnot. It does that, and that's it, right? There's no hand holding. But even then, they give you these little, traces of the, the grace traces on the bonfire thingies. So you still kind of know where to go to like progress the quote unquote story.
Yeah, that could be confusing too. You don't know how to read it correctly.
Yeah, but you have these markers on the map, so if you had no idea where to go, you could just follow the markers.
Mm-hmm.
And you'd end up on like the first boss, like Margit, right? And then you can go from there. So if you had no clue and didn't and weren't like a friend of running around like randomly and just exploring, you could just follow the trail. But this game has none of that. You can literally only run around randomly and hope the game works out.
Yeah, like the part I'm at, you see the puzzle in the swamp, but when you implement it, when you try to implement it, it doesn't work. Like, nothing's happening, and I'm stuck right now. And I feel like that's what's keeping me from completing the game. I found the two minerals, well, the two stones you need. There's the third one's missing. And I feel like this puzzle is it, but nothing is happening. So I don't know.
It could also be bugged. Like with RPG Maker games, you never know.
Yeah, it could be bugged.
It's another thing. But yeah, like as I said, the game doesn't need hand holding, but you can still do your best to kind of like nudge the player in the right direction so they're not just running around without a head and not knowing what they're even looking for. You can still do that without holding the player's hands.
Yeah.
But this game doesn't. It just throws you in with like as minimal of a story to even get you interested in it, and just expects you to kind of figure it out or just click everything. And I don't know. I just think the gameplay doesn't match what I would expect from this kind of game. Like, I'm a detective. I'm expecting detective gameplay. Like, I want to interrogate people. I want to ask questions. I want to find hidden stuff, but I don't want to run around and just clicking on everything and hoping that it's something I need.
It's okay to do. It's RPG Maker.
No, it's not okay to do it. I don't care if it's RPG Maker. Doesn't matter. Engine does not matter. At all. Did you know RPG Maker is the only engine on Steam that has a RPG Maker tag? There's no Unity tag, and there's no Godot tag, and there's no Unreal Engine tag. None of that. And it's really not a good thing either. Like, you don't want your game to be tagged RPG Maker. You don't want that. Because it shouldn't matter. Like, your game should just be a good game. Period. Don't put a fucking RPG Maker tag on your fucking RPG Maker game. Because then you're just playing into this whole stigma thing. And everybody who doesn't like RPG Maker just because of hearsay, because RPG Maker is just cash grab. So even if a person has never played a RPG Maker game, right? Maybe they heard from a friend that RPG Maker games are bad. So every time they see a RPG Maker tag, they're not gonna buy it because they think RPG Maker is bad. So you don't want a RPG Maker tag on your game. You don't want that. You're probably still gonna get it because user-generated tags are a thing, but you shouldn't put it on there if you can avoid it. The tag is not a good thing.
Facts. Alright, guys. We got to spin the wheel for next week.
We're spinning the wheel every week now, right?
Yep. Unless when it's my turn, I want to choose a game. But
what you mean unless it's your turn? We don't get turns then.
We do get turns.
No, we don't get no turns.
I'm just opting to spin the wheel on my turn. You're opting
to spin the wheel, man?
On your turn.
What you mean? So we're only spinning the wheel on my turns now, or what?
No, I'm actually going to spin on my turn too. But if I have a game I want to pick.
Oh, so you mean if you actually like have a game, you'd rather pick it than turn the wheel? Okay. I see how it is.
Yeah. Kind of, pay me under the table. I got you.
So this is my turn technically.
Technically, it isn't. Your turn was last.
No, this is
it's your turn.
You picked this game. This is my turn.
I picked Nyabers. I'm the one that picked Nyabur. Right.
Oh,
so the wheel.
Oh yeah, the wheel was this game, right? Right. You picked Nyabur, so this should be my turn.
It's your turn. So
he trying to skip my turns. Yeah,
but you wanted to do the wheel. That's your mindset. That's on you, my guy.
Yeah, I mean, I just suggested it because we have a lot of games there.
Which is a fine suggestion. I mean, we wanted to get. Because we got some 40 plus days, 30 plus days. So,
we got really old games on there. I mean, we don't get as many new ones, so we're probably gonna end up like spinning the wheel a lot. And once it's more empty, we're just gonna have like no wheel, I guess.
Yeah.
But that's fine. Like, we need to get these fucking games played because they've been on there forever.
You gotta pay the pipers.
Yeah, I just gotta spend some money to skip the line, I guess.
Sell out that money. Stop being cheap. Cheap.
RPG Maker devs are cheap, though.
Let me stop. Alright, how do I share my screen again? I forgot. I ain't been streaming so long. I kind of forgot how to do these things.
You don't need to share it. just spin it.
Okay, just
Doesn't
spin
really
it.
matter.
Just spin it.
Yeah,
I'm a
yeah.
pop.
Doesn't
I'm a
really matter.
pop. All right. So once again, we thank you guys for for watching us and being attentive to the podcast. And we're going to spin this wheel. We're going to spin the wheel for the game that we're going to play next week. And good luck to those who are involved, and good luck to those willing to have their game played. If you do want your game played, definitely put your game in the game review on the Discord.
So, I got a question actually. Like, should we, like, currently the only way to get a game on the wheel is through the Discord, right?
That's the traditional way, yeah.
Yeah, but like, should we have an alternative way too? Because people like Izumilia, they don't have Discord because
they
their
could
parents say
ask.
no.
Well, they could request it to be on the wheel. We could honor it that way. Put it up there.
Yeah.
Like
So,
if you're
Izumilia, if
streaming,
you got a game, I guess you can just put it in the chat, give us a link too, so we can put it on the wheel for you.
exactly. Either if during a D7 stream or a Harlequin stream or during the RTP stream, podcast stream, you want a game up there, you could, throw out requests and I could make a note if I see them, I could make a note. But the problem is, sometimes if the chat wasn't really booming today, sometimes they do boom, and we just don't want to miss the submission if it does get like that, because I don't see everything in the chat. That's why I always say,
I'm reading the Twitch chat. I'm not on YouTube. I'm reading the Twitch chat.
Yeah, I'm reading both.
I'm paying attention.
Yeah, sometimes you miss stuff when you're focusing, streaming, and playing the game. You kind of miss little chats here and there.
Yeah, of course.
So.
Of course.
All right.
Yeah, but as we said, you can put a game up on the chat if you want to, and we're trying to add it to the wheel for you.
Yeah.
If you don't have Discord.
Yeah, we can do it like that. So that's no biggie, A little extra stuff, but it's no biggie. All right, let me spin this wheel so I could finish moving. Do what I gotta do. Hold on. This isn't correct. Hold on. That isn't correct.
Inspiration reincarnation has been on that wheel forever.
That isn't correct. Let's try this. All right. Spin.
Brixton lad said he's ringing the reel.
Hierosperia.
Oh look, there's even a delay on Twitch.
Been eliminated. Yeah, Twitch and YouTube, there's delay.
Oh, Twitch seems fine right now. It's just YouTube has a lot
Hierosperia is gone. Desperation Reincarnation is gone. Harlequin done rigged that. He done rigged everything.
I jinxed it.
No Time for Mercy. No, that's a reroll. Reroll is gone. Reroll is gone. All right, let's go. Past the end is gone. I want to say we played that. Why is that still on the wheel?
Because you didn't remove it.
Past the end has been eliminated. Dreams of an Addict is out of here. Dreams of an Addict is out of there.
Oh my god, Starscribe is still on the wheel.
Don't mention it. Mana Raiders is gone.
Oh, thank goodness. That needed to go.
All right. Reroll has been used up.
Oh, one reroll still on there.
Got one more reroll. Depths of Insanity is gone. Depths of Insanity has been eliminated.
Get out of here.
Last reroll, it's been used up. No more rerolls, no more tries. If the ticker falls on you, you're out of there. Immortal Sins has been eliminated. Immortal Sins has been eliminated.
Oh, boy.
Floral Disaffect has been eliminated.
Oh, that's
Floral
fine.
Disaffect.
That is fine. That's a new game. It hasn't been long there.
Leyline Sensitive
Oh,
has
lordy.
been eliminated.
Oh, lordy. Is it gonna be Starscribe?
Starscribe and No Time for Mercy are the only ones. Good luck. Good luck. The one that is being landed on is eliminated. The one that's remaining is the one we're going to play next podcast. The game. Let's go. Starscribe won.
Oh my god.
Holy smokes.
Oh my god, we're actually gonna play Starscribe now.
Starscribe won.
God damn, that game has been on there.
So not
long.
sure if it's Starscribe or
It's with a D at the end. Starscribed.
yeah, it didn't. It's Starscribe, but I don't know. You know how janky this thing is. So congratulations to Bird Bunch. We're playing Starscribe. I believe it's a story one, not the Edge of Reality. You know, which is the one that you're.
Did he specify?
I think at the time it was Starscribe and not Edge of Reality. I'm not sure, but we can, since this is in the same game, you know, we can get clarification of what he wants us to play. But Edge of Reality is really no story to Edge of Reality. You know, it's just roguelike combat-ish, you know, but Starscribe, you know, it's the full game. It is, you do get a lot of meats and potatoes with it and stuff like that. So maybe he wants us, you know, he could clarify it. You know, he can choose what he wants us to play.
Yeah,
that's no biggie. Either Starscribe, Edge of Reality, you know, they're in the same game, so, you know, whatever. Maybe he wanted us to play Turbo mode, you know, because he asked the other day, when you gonna play Turbo again? Well, here's your chance, my guy. You broke my computer last time, so I don't know, man. I don't know. Might gotta get the 4070 Ti to do all the work for me this time. So that's Harlequin's PC, not mine.
Yeah. Should I go record it?
Yes. Please record.
I can do that.
Yes. Yeah. I love when you and Sakrana record.
I mean, I skipped out on the recording a lot of times, so it's fine.
All right, guys. Really appreciate you guys. Thank you for the follow. Please tell your friends about me. Izuma, thank you for the follow. Thank you for following me this morning. I would definitely check your itch.io and see if you uploaded your game. If you did upload your game, I would definitely do a stream on it. So be aware when that is going to happen. Don't feel bad, and don't feel nervous. Don't think your game is not a bad game. It may not be. You may just develop at your own speed. So if my co-hosts don't have anything to say, I guess we are out of here. What you anything you need to say to the people before we get out of here, my guy? I don't know what to say.
I think we're good. I'm excited to play Bird Bunch game again. Like I told the guy already, I want to see what the new version has in store for me, because like the first few tries I gave it, like, oh my god, I struggled so much. I hated the controls. It's supposedly better now, so I'm excited for the next podcast. I'm probably gonna stream the game actually too. So
what?
Yeah, if I find the time, it's a little bit hard with the new job, but so it's probably gonna be like a very late stream. But yeah, I think if I find the time and I have enough brain juice left after work, I'm probably gonna stream it too.
Yeah. All right, guys. Peace out. I gotta finish unpacking this stuff here and get everything
do your
together.
obligations.
Yes, sir. All right, guys. See y'all on the flip side. Peace out.